Okay, so you're thinking to yourself as you look at this, oh, this looks a little odd, right? It looks like we have a whole lot of louver and no frame. It's all about the settings, people, right? So let's examine and see where we might want to change something. You remember, hopefully, the very first thing we created when we created our louvers or our mullions, we created a frame mullion, right? So when we go into this layer of curtain wall and we click on it, notice what do we have here? We have the louver where the vertical and horizontal mullion should be. So what we need to go in, and I had you change the name on very much on purpose here, is frame, right? And once I put that in and I control C, control V, control V, control V, and so on and so on, and hit apply and let it do its magic, and then OK. Now I have something that looks a little more like a what? Like an actual louver. And if I go in here to fine and then I go to realistic, I kind of get that interesting look, that louver. Instead of glass, now I have these interesting little louvers in here, each of them individual. And what's cool about them is I can go in and do something with them. Watch what I do here. I'm going to go back to a shaded mode. Oops, not consistent colors. I meant to go back to shaded. Okay. And notice right now that those things are straight. But what if we went in to the louver we created and we look, oh wow, up here, could we change this angle to maybe 30 degrees? And hit apply. Let it think. And now we've actually turned that louver, right? We've turned the louver. Let's see, let's go back into our louver and say, let's maybe only turn it, I don't know, let's turn it minus 30. See if that works a little better. Okay, so now the louvers are more in a shut position than they are an open position. Okay, and I'm going to let you get caught up in this matter, but just kind of think your way through what's happening here. Let's go back kind of to the beginning and figure out where we started. What's the first thing we did? We created our actual what? A 1x6 frame. We created this frame right here, and if I go to hidden line, you can see it maybe a little better. I created this frame. If I go to a south elevation, we can see this a little better. Well, hopefully we can see it a little better. I created a frame, and let's measure the distance across here. It's right around 2 inches, right? But to the center of it, to the grid, it's 1. That's the 1 inch that we created on our right here. The dimensions on either side is going to be 1 inch. So 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? Then if I go back here, it's a little harder to see here, right? But if I kind of cheat a little and I measure from, let's see if I can get the measuring tool out here. Let me find it. Well, you know what? Let me see if I can use an aligned. Nope, I can't. I probably can't use an aligned dimension. Maybe I can. Oh, look at there. That's the 6 inches, right? So if you remember, the 6 inches was the 6 inches that we did for the thickness of it. So we got that 1x6 going on, all right? Next thing, our louvers, right? So we created this 1/4 inch by 4, right? So the 1/4 inch by 4, we created this here, right? And if we were to look at this in terms of the size, we've got a 1/4 inch there. And if I could sneak back up in there, you would see, oops, it measured a 1/4 inch again. In order not to bore you, take my word for it. They're 4 inches deep. Okay. So you can see now where we went through all that trouble in the beginning to come back to create all of these, and then in turn we had to create what? We had to create a wall, right? What if we just drew a curtain wall that was a horizontal louver infill? I'm going to go to SD for a moment so you can see this, right? All that would be the louver. That is the curtain wall that we actually created for the louver portion of it. We then, and let's go back for a second so you can see this as well. As we click on this and look at the properties in the edit type, notice for the curtain panel, we have an empty system. And we made it empty so we could come back and do what? The next part would be to create a frame, right? So if we go to wall and architectural, and instead of the horizontal louver infill, we do the frame louver. And we already had one of those in the frame, so I didn't have to necessarily draw it again, but I wanted you to kind of see when we click on this one. Now, if we go to edit type, we use the curtain wall horizontal louvers that we created to fill these frames. And that's the part to help you understand the process we went through at first, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and free you up, let you get in there, experiment with it for a few minutes, and then we're going to come back and we're going to try and do some edits with this and see if we can continue to hack it a little further, okay?